students. So now I'll be taking up the lecture on value added fruits and vegetable based products. So preserves I will be talking about. So what is a preserve? It is whole fruit or large pieces of fruit in thick sugar syrup, which is often slightly jellied. Right, so here thick sugar syrup means the total soluble solids or percentage of sugar in preserve will be higher than that present in jams and jellies that we have already seen, right? So generally preserve can be prepared from almost all fruits, including peaches, pears, amla, strawberry, tomatoes, grapes. Now we'll see for making preserve. So first is selection of fruit. We have to choose uniform sized fruit, right? So as we have just seen in the definition of preserve, it can be prepared from whole fruit, right? So if you are preparing preserve in which you are taking whole fruit, then you will have to see that almost uniformity should be there in the size of the fruit, right? And if you are preparing preserve where you are having large pieces of a fruit, then again you will have to see that these pieces should be uniform. This is really important so that the cooking is even, right? So evenly cooked product will be there. And second important thing is that the aesthetic appeal of the finally packaged product will be more if the size is uniform, right? Then besides size, the fruit should be firm ripe, then soft ripe, right? And it is recommended that if you are using 25% of firm ripe fruit, then the tartness is more, and in such cases less of pectin is required in the formulation. Next, preliminary processing. So like previous step, that was selection, and now the preliminary processing. So these were also there when we were talking about jams and jellies, right? So in this case again washing is to be done. So it is same as what we have already seen in jams and jellies. Then next treatment, whatever treatment we are going to give, this varies from fruit to fruit. For example, strawberries and raspberries, they are used as such for the preparation of preserve without any preliminary treatment except washing, right? Then apples and pears, they are peeled followed by pricking, and this is done when you have to prepare the preserve using whole of these fruits. So in that case you will have to peel and prick, right? But if you want to cut the fruit into large pieces, in such case peeling is to be done first. After that halving or quartering is to be done, followed by coring and puncturing. Then for mangoes, like peeling, slicing, breaking is done. For peas, we have to de-stone them, and dry peeling is to be done. For apricots and cherries, de-stoning is important. Then for fruits like oranges, lemons, grape and citrus, halving is done, removal of pulpy portion from the cut fruit. This is to be done, right? So halving followed by removal of pulpy portions from the cut fruit is to be done in citrus fruits. Then pumpkin, which is used for preparation of petha. That Agra ka petha is very famous. So pumpkin is used for preparation of that. So in that preliminary treatment involves slicing, peeling, bricking, then placing in dilute lime for few hours, and this is important step because this hardens the texture of pumpkin, okay, so as to make it suitable for preparation of peta. So next step is cooking in water, right? So like this I'll obviously talk about, but after cooking in water, cooking with dilute sugar syrup will be our next step. So first we'll talk about cooking in water or dilute sugar syrup. So cooking in water is important because this softens the tissue, so that when you are later cooking in dilute sugar syrup, you this will facilitate the absorption of sugar in the tissues of fruit, right? But suppose you have juicy fruits, so in that case cooking can directly be done in thick syrup in the very beginning, because excess of juice in these highly juicy fruits will serve to dilute the syrup. So next step is cooking in syrup. There are three ways in which this can be done. First method is open kettle 1 period process. Second is open kettle slow process, and third one is vacuum cooking process, right? So now we'll take up all these methods one by one, right? Open kettle 1 period process. So as we have just seen that the fruits which are already cooked in water, so they are then transferred and then they are cooked in syrup. So the starting concentration of the syrup for cooking will be low, and then boiling has to be done gently until the concentration of syrup increases or the syrup becomes thick. So final concentration of sugar syrup should not be less than 68 Brix, which is again around 106 °C temperature at sea level. And in this case, it is important to know that soft fruits like raspberries or strawberries, they require little boiling for softening of the fruit tissues. However, hard fruits like apple, peaches, pears, they require longer periods of heating. Okay, one precaution is to be taken, that is, if the rapid boiling is done, then the fruits become tough, right? So this problem is even more when you are heating in large shallow pans with small quantity of syrup, right? So we have to make sure that this rapid boiling is to be prevented, and also smaller quantity of syrup in large shallow pans should be avoided. So quantity of syrup should be sufficient, right? So next method is open kettle slow process. So in this it basically takes lot of days, around 4 to 5 days, right? But first 3 days are very crucial, right? So first we have already seen that cooking in water is to be done, then addition of sugar is done to the fruits which are already boiled in water, and generally the quantity of sugar is around half the weight of fruit, and this addition of sugar is done in alternate layers. So you will have one layer of fruit, above which you will have one layer of sugar, then again you will have one layer of fruit followed by a layer of sugar. So this has to be done in alternate layer arrangement kind of. Then this mass is allowed to stand for around 24 hours. So first day is complete, right? So in second day what you have to do, the resultant syrup, whatever like we have kept previous day, so what sugar will do, it will extract the water from the fruit, or juice will be extracted, and the syrup will be obtained. So this syrup has a concentration or has a strength of around 38 degree bricks. Generally it is 38 degree bricks, so it can be little more or little higher than 38 degree bricks, right? So after this, addition of more sugar is done, so that the strength of the syrup reaches to about 60 degree bricks, right? So once we have the 60 degree bricks, we can go for addition of citric or tartaric acid at the rate of 0.62 to 1.25 grams per kg of sugar that was initially taken, right? Then boiling of whole mass is done for around 4 to 5 minutes, and then again this setup is to be kept for 24 hours. So on third we will do, we have to raise the strength of the syrup to around 68 degree bricks by adding sugar. Okay, so each day we have to first see that what is the strength and then how much sugar is to be added, so that the strength reaches to a specific level that I have already mentioned against each day, right? So on third day you have to raise the strength of the syrup to around 68 degree bricks, and then again boiling of the mass is to be done for say 4 to 5 minutes. Then it has to be left for 3 to 4 days, and then finally we have to raise the strength of the syrup to 70 degree bricks, and this is the end of the process. After this we have to pack the preserve in finished condition. And again, as far as packaging materials are concerned, this I have already talked about when I was discussing jam. So packaging material is same for preserves as was for jams and jellies. That is laid down by Food Safety and Standards Regulation 2011. So the last method in this is vacuum cooking. So as the name indicates that you are going for cooking under vacuum. So we understand when we are going for cooking under vacuum, then boiling point will be reduced, as a result of which the color retention or flavor retention will be higher in case of vacuum cooking than in the open kettle, right? So in this, what we have to do, we have to place the previously softened fruit. So previously softened fruit means the fruits that were already boiled in water. So they are to be placed in a syrup of strength between 30 to 35 degree bricks, and then transferring the fruit syrup blend to vacuum pan. So here you have to go for concentration under reduced pressure, so that the final degree bricks of the syrup is around 70. Then again in this, a precaution is to be taken, and that is hard fruits like pears or apples. They require slow boiling so as to facilitate the penetration of sugar, and for soft fruits they can be boiled briskly, right? Our product is ready. So the next step is cooling and then packaging, right? So like when you have to go for bulk storing of the prepared preserve, in such cases cooling should be done quickly, right? Because if cooling is not done quickly, then the temperature of the product will be higher, as a result of which discoloration will take place, right? So one important thing is that cooling has to be done quickly, and then we have to drain the fruit from the syrup, and the pieces of these fruits they are to be filled into the container, and then we have to pour a freshly prepared boiled syrup of 68 degree bricks in the packaging material, which is generally the containers like A 2.5 size cans. This is followed by exhausting for say around 8 to 10 minutes in steam, and then hermetically closing, and then sterilization is to be done, and it is done at 100 degrees Celsius for 25 minutes, followed by rapid cooling, right? But sterilization is not required when preserve is packed scalding hot in dry cans, right? But if it is packed in a 2.5 size can, then sterilization is important. Now quickly see the examples of preserves. So I'll just talk about two preserves. One is apple and another one is avla. So first is apple preserve. So in this we can select sour or sweet varieties of the fruit. Then peeling is to be done. Then peeling, when you are going for peeling, at that time you have to see that you are not removing stem or core, right? So that means now we are preparing the preserve in which we are taking whole fruit. Okay. Then this is followed by pricking of the peeled fruits. So pricking is done with a stainless steel needle or a fork. Then these peeled and pricked sweet varieties of apples, they are to be kept in 2 to 3% NaCl solution, right? But for sour varieties, they are to be kept in plain water, and this is important for preventing browning and also for preventing the disintegration of the fruit during blanching. So subsequently we'll be going for blanching. So this is important step so that it prevents disintegration of the fruit during blanching. So once this is done, then we have to transfer the fruit to dilute lime water. And for preparation of lime water, we have to take 2 parts of lime water and 1 part of water, and then we have to leave the fruit in it for 24 hours. Then we have to separately prepare 2 to 3% LM solution, and we have to bring it to boil. Then we have to transfer the apples that we had already kept in lime water to this alum solution. Then we have to add a small quantity of sodium bisulfate. So the role of sodium bisulfate is to whiten the color of apple. Then again continuous boiling is to be done until the fruit softens, right? So once the fruits are softened, they are to be taken out and they are to be placed in cold water, and the blanching solution is to be discarded, right? So for each batch you will have to prepare a fresh alum solution separately, right? So the previous one is to be discarded, right? So then is the cooled apples. Now they are ready so that we can give them the syrup treatment, right? So for preparation of syrup, we have to take which is equal to half the weight of prepared apples. So it generally comes out to be around 74 to 76 kg of sugar for every 100 kg of whole apple before they are peeled. Okay. So after this, we have to place the sugar and apples in alternate layers, as I had already discussed when I was talking about the general steps involved in preparation of preserves. So in this case again you have to alternatively place sugar and apples. Then you have to leave the mass undisturbed for say around 24 hours. So again what will happen during this period? The fruit will give out sufficient water, right? So that the sugar is dissolved. Then the resulting syrup has around 36 to 38 degree Brix. Then boiling of the mass is done for few minutes, and then we have to raise the strength of the syrup to 60 degree Brix. And how this has to be done? By adding more of sugar. Okay, and again, since in your, like when I was talking about the preserves in general, I had talked about addition of acid once the syrup reaches to 60 degree Brix. So again, in this case, what we have to do, we have to add small quantity of citric or tartaric acid or invert sugar or corn syrup to the extent of 25% by weight, right? Then again, boiling is to be done for few minutes, and then the apples are to be kept for another 24 hours, right? So that means again 2 days are now completed. So on the third day, what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to raise the strength of the syrup to 70 degree Brix, and then again we have to allow it to stand for 1 week, and this makes our preserve ready for packaging. Okay, so suppose you have to prepare candy from this fruit, then instead of 70 degree Brix, we have to raise the strength of the syrup to 75 degree Brix, and then we have to allow it to stand for 7 days or a week's time before it is ready for candying, right? So this was about apple preserve. Now we'll quickly see another example, that is amla. So in this we have to select large variety of fruit. Then washing is to be done, pricking with needle of bamboo, wood or stainless steel. Then we have to place the pricked fruit in 2% common salt solution, and then common salt solution concentration is to be raised to 8% at the rate of 2% daily, right? So every day you will raise the percentage of salt solution to 2% till the time it reaches 8%, right? Then washing of the fruit is done with water, and after this we have to place the freshly prepared 8% for a week. This is important so as to remove astringency which is very much there in amla, right? So after this we have to wash the fruit. Then blanching is to be done in 2% alum solution until they become sufficiently soft, and we have to take care that although they are soft, but they should not break or crack at the points of their segments, right? So you can very well make out the segments in amla fruit, okay, even when it is not blanched or the normal amla that is there in the market. So in that also you can see the segment. So here we have to take care that the fruit is soft but the segments are not broken down, right? Or there is no crack in the segments. Then after this we have to pass this fruit or this prepared fruit through several stages of syrup as we have done in case of apples, and then packaging is to be done in lacquered cans, right? So with this we again finish preserves. So these are the references which are there on your screen. So for details you can go through these references. However, notes I have already shared, or book chapters also I have already shared with you. And then if you have any doubt, you can call me or you can WhatsApp me. You can send your queries via mail, right? So feel free to discuss whatever is pertaining to this subject, right? And again I acknowledge my son and my husband because they have provided a conducive environment for recording this audio. Thank you so much.